Yes, I am that expat mom. I think we all are. That one at drop off where you don't know what the teacher's saying, you don't know what's going on half the time. You're having to translate every email, every correspondence, every note that you receive from the school. And yeah, it's a very interesting experience. I think people often think when you leave your home country, like you've gone to greener pastures or you've sold your soul for this new amazing life. And as amazing as it is, it's not easy. Like, it's really not easy. I really feel like we had a really soft landing. We've I want to say landed with our asses in the butter a little bit. We live in the most beautiful location. We've got actually an amazing support system. We've got a ton of expat friends. We've got friends from Brazil. We've got friends from Portugal that have been born and bred and lived their whole lives here. And we're integrating slowly. I'm probably learning Portuguese at the rate of my 2-year-old. So as she learns something, I learn something. But it's an experience. It is definitely not for the faint-hearted. I would say the older your children get, obviously the more difficult it is. As like if you're an adult and you are immigrating, or doing the whole swallow thing, following the summers or whatever it is. Um, it's difficult. I want to say it's more difficult when you've got children because you need to sort of navigate the school systems, especially if you're doing public school. And it really is dependent on the school you're in. My daughter's school is phenomenal. They've got a few people that speak pretty good English, that are always eager to jump in and offer advice and help and translate for me. And my son's school a little bit more limited. His teacher's got very limited English, and basically, it's if you want something technical, do it on email. If you need to communicate something that's a little bit more complex, so it's challenging. It's challenging for the children. My daughter, obviously, being 2, it's been a breeze. She's pretty much half and half now. She's as probably knows a little bit more words in Portuguese than she does in English, but she follows the instructions. She understands. The teachers are confident with her level of understanding and in line with her peers, which is phenomenal, considering we are in April now and they only started school in September last year. So very short period for the adjustment to language. Um, and my son, a little bit slower. He's 6, so his integration's a little bit more difficult. Going from playing with your peers and they understanding everything to not understanding anything that's going on and having to sort of charades, explain what you're trying to achieve with the game. That said, still integrating really well, learning at a really rapid pace. And I will be honest, we haven't done any language lessons, which I would highly recommend if you are planning the move, especially if you've got older children. Otherwise, they are really resilient. As terrible as it is to throw them in the deep end, it does. They will survive. They will get through it. Obviously, the older children, like putting a high school child in, I don't know how people do that. I mean, I would love to hear feedback from other parents to see how their experiences have been. We are in the Algarve, so we are, in a pretty nice area in terms of the climate and that type of thing. So the kids get to play outside and they have a good balance. It is an adjustment to the school system. The school system is very different to our home country. We're from South Africa, and of course we've got a beautiful climate in South Africa, so our children play outside a lot. We've got big sports fields, even the government schools. We've got big sports fields. During break or recess, the kids go out onto the field and they go and play sports, and they have their lunch and they chat. We don't have like sort of a cafeteria style where you indoors. So I think that was probably a big adjustment for me. Like our daughter's school, there isn't actually a. I think they use the school, like there's a slightly older age group school next door where they go use their facilities at some point. But on a day to day, they've got like an indoor type of recess area or break area. That's got a jungle gym and all that, but it's got a roof, so it's kind of like IBR. I'm not sure the correct terminology, but there's like there's clear sort of roof sheeting, so there is some light coming in, natural light, but it's not like direct sunlight, and your feet are not in the ground. I don't know, maybe I'm just old, but there's something different about running barefoot or running and having your feet on the earth. It's just different to being inside all day. So I really try when I fetch them from school to spend like the whole afternoon basically outdoors, because I'm pretty sure that the majority of their day is indoors. They do take them for little walks to the local parks, and it's quite cute to watch the local schools. You often see it when you're driving past. They sort of in a little worm line where they're holding the person in front of them, and they're waddling through to the park. It's very cute. And my son's school has got an outside play area. Not massive, no sports, no dedicated sports area. There is a sort of I want to say not paddle, but a mini sort of tennis type of courts close to his, like opposite his school. And they do some kind of like a bicycle riding and that type of thing. But it's a different scale to South Africa. But the education level, I mean, it is great. I think we get a lot of feedback from the teachers. They are very invested in the children. There's a lot of sort of, what do you call them? When you sort of go around the town and they do a little, oh man, I can't think of the word. You dress up and then you go around the town and you sort of do a parade type of things. So they do parades and they do a lot of community-based things. Over Christmas time, they had Christmas carnivals up in every municipality had one, and where we live, we're sort of in between two municipalities, so we could go to like almost 2 to 3 different festival type of things where everything's for free. They've got little Ferris wheels and ice skating setups. It was actually pretty phenomenal, the festive season. So overall, I think they're very children focused and family focused in terms of integration in the community. But yeah, it's different being an outsider. It's different being, you stand there and I greet and everything in Portuguese, and I nod and act like I know what's going on when I don't, which is they probably think, what is this woman doing? But we have been really embraced by a lot of people. A lot of people have just stepped in to try and translate for me. They could see I'm not understanding what's going on. They jump in and help. They really are. I think if they see that you're trying, it makes a difference. I think if you go in there with this sort of attitude of why don't you speak English? Portuguese is their first language, so why would they be speaking English? We've chosen to come to this country, so we should be making the effort to learn this language, which is very difficult, by the way. I am enrolled, though, for a language course, which the government does provide for free, which is amazing. I think there's just a lot to take in and a lot to adjust to. If you have questions, please pop it in the comments. I would love to start answering some questions for people that are still wanting to move over. We did immigrate with our pet, so we brought our small dog over. He flew with us in cabin. I flew over with obviously a child who just turned 1. Well, actually she turned 1 after we arrived, so just under 1. And our son, who just turned 6 now, so he was 5. He was 4 turning 5 when we arrived. If I can offer some advice or answer some questions, then I'm happy to do so. And yeah, I'm that expat mom. So are you, probably. If you're finding this interesting and you've stuck around, then you're probably also that expat mom or expat dad.